It will take 45 launches to get it there, and more than 1,000 hours of spacewalks to put it together. It's quite simply the most complex engineering project ever undertaken. Americans stood in awe of NASA's first space station in 1973. Skylab was cheap. It was made from an empty rocket casing. Astronauts used it to see how they adapted to weightlessness. The original Skylab burnt up when it re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. This is a replica here at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington. Skylab was a forerunner of today's costly and controversial project. From an engineering point of view, the space station will be remarkable. Nearly 100 yards long, it will have the same space inside as two 747s. Putting the modules together will be a challenge.
We don't have the luxury of being able to put all those together on the ground, physically put them together and plug in all the electronics and everything to test it all out before we actually start putting it up in orbit. It's a very complex undertaking.
This is the space station mock-up area where the astronauts do some of their training. When complete, the space station will consist of 100 separate bits all bolted together, an orbiting jigsaw puzzle that will take 6 years to complete. Unlike the Russian Mir, which astronauts say is a mess, the new space station is completely computerized and controlled by laptop computer. There aren't even any switches to turn out the lights.
The astronaut will select, based on what's on the screen, what it is that they want to perform on board. The reason that we did this is it allows us to eliminate a great many wires and interconnections on board that makes the systems more reliable.
But from a scientific point of view, is it all worth it? NASA thinks so and cites past successes. Studying flames in orbit has led to more efficient heaters on Earth. Growing protein crystals in space should lead to better medicines. NASA says the space station will produce much more.
We think it's a sure thing that the station will perform. I personally believe that we have some research surprises ahead of us. We'll find some things that we never expected.
But many scientists remain skeptical. They say most of the science that will be done in space can be done better and much more cheaply on Earth.
I think the impact will be very, very slight, and compared to the cost, it's hard to imagine that we could spend our dollars on research in a less efficient way.
Even if the science falls short of expectations, NASA maintains the space station is vital for at least one longer-term project, a manned mission to Mars. But compared with that, even the cost of the space station itself pales into insignificance. James Wilkinson, BBC News, Washington.
Our main news again. The peace agreement...
Boy, we this last